green swords inside my flesh, waves between our hands. All of you in a space full of sounds, in the shade and in the light. You were called oxochrome, the one who captures color. I, chromophore, the one who gives color. You are all the combinations of numbers, life. My wish is to understand lines, form, shades, movement. You fulfill, and I receive. Your word travels the entirety of space and reaches my cells, which are my stars, then goes to yours, which are my light. Diego, nothing compares to your hands, nothing like the green gold of your eyes. My body is filled with you for days and days. You are the mirror of the night, the violent flash of lightning, the dampness of the earth. The hollow of your armpits is my shelter. My fingers touch your blood. All my joy is to feel life spring from your flower fountain that mine keeps to fill all the paths of my nerves, which are yours.
Hello. Had a quick abrupt there. How's everybody doing today? And we'd like to welcome you to the Cali Cocktail Social Hour. We have a special guest, Sacramento's Poet Laureate. Sorry, it's just bourbon. I'm not used to it, so let me finish it off real quick. Sacramento's Poet Laureate of Sacramento. That's how you say it. Andru Defeye. I knew I did that. Anyways, we're gonna have him come on right now in a second. Like I said, we appreciate everybody for coming out tonight, and we like to thank everybody out there who who always comes out and hangs out with us. This is a hangout, a little bar, a lounge, an art bar, where we get together and hang out and talk, and we interact with you too because you're part of the show too. And I'm not show, but it's like a gathering. So let me see who's on here now, so I can say hi to everybody first. Hey, Randy, how you doing? Hello, Maya. How you doing too? How's everybody doing tonight? Chris will be popping in and out. Maya says hello. I say. Randy says hi. So yeah, so we have some really good stuff tonight. We have some music, we have some talking, and we have some poetry, and we have some live. I'll let him tell you what the instrument he plays. It's really cool. I see him play it at nighttime at live on Facebook and Instagram. Some really cool stuff. And it's really healing and good vibrations out there. So let's get this show started. Hold on, we have one more. Good evening. And we're going to play a song called Pirouettes, and it is by him, and he'll be here. So here we go. It's professional style. Welcome. Gracias a todos para viendo ahora.
She pirouettes in my peripheral posture, perfect while my prose puzzled by piece, pieces itself back together from pieces left by the day, stained by the way people walk right past each other, all connected with nothing to say, coming and loving and rushing away like a tide, but never been tied down. Only bound by the gravity we choose. They don't step to that dance floor in these shoes, so why would we care how this be going when we move? She, the reflection of me. Let's be careful with we. It's a delicate dance that devils do. Blame the angels that taught it to them. She practices her pirouettes on a tightrope with zero net. Never worry what step comes next, cause right is right and left is left. And all of its balance. Don't run into back down from challenges. Work till it blisters and work till it calluses. They be talking, but she be paralysis. Yeah, can't feel them. Then it all get real when she hear him. In the poetry, she can hear hymns. Soon enough, she can't tell what he's saying. Then she begins. He, the reflection of she. Let's be careful with we. It's a delicate dance that angels do. Proclaim the devils that taught it to them. Angels do. Proclaim the devils that taught it to them. She sleeps in a bed right next to me. Every night still pirouettes through my dreams. Perfectly still inspiring. Sometimes when she's asleep, I just watch her breathe. See God and speak silently. She be the promise I keep. Life is a dance we aligned it on beat. Eye to eye. Let them look down at our feet. No need for slowing, we know where we going. Just lost in each other, finding the keys. We, a reflection of creed. Asian carefully stitched the seams. It's a delicate dance. The gods all do, but blame the stars that taught it to them. It's a delicate dance. The gods all do, but blame the stars that taught it to them. It's a delicate, life is a dance we learned it on beat. Life is a dance we learned it on beat.
Welcome back. So that was a little stumble on me in the beginning. I got a little tongue tied there. So, and here we are with all the Sacramento Poet Laureate, really cool guy. I met him a while ago now. Always great guy. So love having positive people here with positive energy. And to no further ado, we'll bring him up. How you doing?
Hey, man, what's going on? Glad to be here.
Yeah, I had a little stumble in the beginning. Got a little tongue tied.
Man, I'm trying to get my camera view as nice as yours, man. You're my inspiration on the visuals out here.
Yeah, well, I see you at night. I'm like, we look like we're in the same room. It's like it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm glad that you're here. Like I said, this show is about hanging out with people. It's really interacting with everybody out there who comes when they have we if anybody out there needs any help with anything, or we try to help out, if they want to talk after the show, so that's kind of what the show started on, to see if anybody out there who who needs some, just someone to talk to, especially
Yeah.
during these times. Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
very happy. I've seen the stuff you've been doing. It's very healing.
Man, thank you,
So.
thank you. I'm trying to heal myself, so when I find something that like works for me, I try to just pass it on, and maybe it'll work for other folks too. So now I appreciate everybody tuning in. It's super healing for me too. I'm one of those folks with the special edition immune system, so I've been in quarantine for over 50 days on the solo and haven't really seen anyone. My mom did come over yesterday, and I did get to hug my moms, which was like amazing. But yeah, it's definitely being able to connect this way with folks is so it's such a beautiful thing, man. Like I think about what would have happened had we had shelter in place orders, pre-internet. What did we?
Yeah.
How do we stay in touch? How do we continue to communicate? How does the world keep functioning?
Yeah.
Some of this streaming stuff has really like saved a lot of us, you know what I mean, and allowed us to continue to work and to continue to create and to continue to communicate and support each other. So, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I've found a lot of very creative things that people are doing online, and the teachers had to readjust. Everybody had to readjust, right? And it's they're doing it on the fly, and you come up with some stuff, and there's some stuff we don't even know that's going to be coming up soon that we're looking at. So I think it's great.
Yeah, man. Everybody, give yourself grace. All the parents out there who just became like full-time teachers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just everybody be patient with yourself. Everybody give yourselves grace. That's one of those things. I think a lot of us we just forget every once in a while that we're in a traumatic time.
Yeah.
Going through trauma. It's okay to be going through trauma. It's okay to be going through grief. It's okay to not be okay at some moments.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good to have a spot to like kind of just gather. I like that we can come in all sit and have a drink together.
We're on the same. We're on the same. The energy field now. It's like that's what it is. So
yeah.
And and like I said, a lot of stuff I see online. I see people trying to reach out in their own special way. Even if it's like getting on there talking, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Something that's growing out of isolation, and well, we have someone here. Do you know Armando?
What up, Armando?
We love Armando. He's another great guy. We always tell him, when he comes on here, but he's such a good service to the community. He's always there.
Absolutely, triple OG out here.
Yeah. So like I said, this is we talked about having questions and stuff like that. It's really like it's a hangout where we have, like I said, we're hanging out with a bunch of people, probably and I don't know. Some people pop in and pop out, or say things like this. Love you guys.
Hey, we love you too.
So we can pull them up when they people comment, and sometimes they'll ask questions. And when people pop up, I say, "Hey Kelly, how you doing? Good, you're here. Oh, we have someone else here that you may know.
This is dope."
So, and I see you guys are writing stuff too, and doing stuff together.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm the founder of the Liv Styler fan club. Don't ever get that twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely Liv's biggest fan.
So the reason why I brought you here is because like I said, you're number one, you're really positive person, and I would really like since we can't go out there and talk to people, we have to emote our positivity out somewhere else, like this, so if someone does come here and they feel challenge or anxiety challenge at the time, they get a little bit of a break, for an hour, whatever the case may be, maybe smile for an hour. So, and when I I had you back in my mind all the time, but when I saw you playing your what is that instrument that you played?
Pan drum.
Pan drum, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a very soothing instrument that you play, and the way you did it with the lights and everything, it's like a shaman in the guru glitch shaman out there playing. Yeah.
Man, I appreciate it. It's funny, this thing, so there's like a really wild, really magical story behind it, because this isn't even mine. I'm holding this for someone. My friend Nick, he was a drummer with ZFG, drummed with a whole bunch of folks, and he's in the East Bay now. But he came down for a jam session, brought the drum set, all his hand drums, everything, and left this here. And when I hit him up and I said, "Nick, did you realize you left the pan drum?" He said, "Consider it an anchor." And I was like, damn, this young man, I don't even know if he knows like the weight of what he said in that moment by leaving this instrument and this tool here, and calling it an anchor. I was like, okay, young shaman, like, yeah.
There you go, yeah.
So it's definitely been a blessing. I found I played with this thing regularly beforehand, but when the quarantine hit, like, this became something that was like part of my everyday ritual. A lot of folks hit me and were like, "Yo, I really like the thing." So that always makes you want to, like, okay, maybe I don't suck at this. Maybe I'm
no, I think it's great.
Definitely been practicing and then figuring out. I got the loop pedal set up, so I've been working on how to loop everything live, and I'm looking to eventually probably do some meditations that way. But right now, it's really, for me, it's just about centering myself and finding my own center alignment. Like, I don't feel right trying to lead other folks in meditation to be solid until I'm completely solid in myself. And I'm one of those folks who I have a lot of anxiety naturally before this that I dealt with. So, self-care. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not just someone who yells about it. I'm someone who practices it as well.
Well, I think you're doing I think it does come out when you play it. I really do. I think it probably connects with you on a conscious level that, comes out with purity and good energy or vibrations, the way you want to call it. But I think I find it very soothing myself. So, and I think a lot of people would, especially since you're usually doing it at, midnight and, you know, hiding in the internet for a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It's usually not like a compliment when the homies are like, "Oh, your music puts me to sleep," but like folks will hit me and be like, "Yo, I fell asleep listening to you jam last night," and that's like really what it's for. Is like I just want people to take a few deep breaths.
yeah.
That's really like the purpose of that, and I think this instrument in particular like really aids to that. It's got that sound. It hits that frequency. That'll make you want to take a deep breath.
Well,
So
you're gonna play some for tonight, right?
yeah, I can
Yeah.
do a
Okay.
little bit of that.
And we have some music that you recorded too. We'll get into that. That was one of the songs that you played, that we just played. Let me
Yeah,
say hello to everybody real quick.
yeah.
Hello, Odyssey. I'm
Hey,
probably, yeah. Hey, Piag, how you doing? Hey, Matt.
hey.
Jessa. Hello, Jessa. Hello, Raul from Oaxaca. How you doing? Hey,
We
Angela.
international.
That's right. And hey, Craig Reynolds, how you doing? Craig Reynolds does. He and his wife have a school in Mexico, and they sell a form of agave here drink. I mean, agave that goes back and back into the schools to teach the kids back
Oh,
there.
no.
Yeah, Raul is a fifth generation mezcalero from Oaxaca, and they have a brand.
Hey.
Yeah, so yeah, so they have a brand coming up, and the money goes back to the community, and that's kind of with agaves like mezcal too. Is you make sure that the people who are actually making it are getting the money, because a lot of them are, of course, they're uh, conglomerates, that make all the money, and then the kids don't have shoes. You know what I mean? So it
Right,
doesn't make
right,
sense. So
right.
so oh, someone would really love one. um, so we're gonna go into a song, and then we're gonna come back and little, for people who don't know about who you are. You do many things. That's and So, and that's how I know you from my walk in the Soul Collective. You're hanging out with the kids and you're teaching them, beats, and you're teaching them different things. And, I walk down on Broadway, you're doing poetry, and you know what I mean? Like there's so much stuff. So, and the Sacramento poet, is it Poet Laureate or
Poet laureate.
Poet Laureate? Okay. I was speaking Spanish. I always get everything backwards. So yes. And that's that, to me, I've never said this, but congratulations on that,
Oh
because
man, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. It's a real honor. It's a real honor. It's funny. I was talking to was like some of my best friends, right? Like I come from hip hop. I've been a rapper since I was 18 years old. So when I told my friends, like some of the homies, like, "Yo, I won. I got Poet Laureate." Like some of my friends are like, "What? What's a laureate? Huh? What is that?" So it's funny, man. It's funny.
well, I think it's a great achievement, and a great direction for Sacramento. I believe, I think you're going to bring a lot of good stuff and a lot of, I mean, I don't want to say you're going to bring a lot of good stuff. We'll leave it at that. I won't
So
go back.
open some doors for the babies. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm just here to open the door for whoever's coming behind me. If you know the poetry scene in Sacramento, then you watch these youngsters. They stay on our heels.
That's what I mean. That's. Do you know? Someone wants to know what's your opinion on fancy pants.
So I'm a big proponent of fancy pants. I don't have my super fancy pants. I have holy pants on because this is like church right now. But no, so the story is with that when we got in quarantine, I wear a lot of jeans, right? I think a lot of us have agreed, like I'm wearing jeans right now because I'm doing this live. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna put on real pants today and not be in like sweatpants. And So I was online late one night and I bought these just these super hippie, like they're just the most fancy pants ever, you know? And
Yeah.
I rocking them the other day talking to a few of the homies and they were like, "This is who you are now?" And I was like, "This might be who I am now," you know?
Well, you never know. You change, right?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
changed a little bit, like I've changed during this time.
Well, I try to tell folks, you know, like I'm also known as the guy with the pink sequin jacket, and I try to tell folks like every once in a while I'll put that on just because I'm having a hard day, you know. Like I have a pair of bright pink shoes that I treat the same way. Like when I need to feel fabulous, I put on my pink stuff. So you know, I upped it up the ante a little bit with the fancy pants.
See, and this is what we love here. We have people asking questions, and we don't know where it goes, right?
The hard hitting
That's
question.
right. The things that people want to know, the scandals, the gossip of Sacramento,
the,
right?
the expose.
That's right. So, I planted that, right? It was a gotcha question. So,
See,
we're going to go into one of your songs. I'm going to look down here. We're going to go because I really enjoy these songs. And, I was listening to them as I was, setting up my studio back here, and just really getting into them. I really like kind of the diversity of them, and so I picked them. I randomly picked them, but I want to play "Breathe Fire." Is there?
yeah.
You tell a little story about that, or how you wrote that?
Word. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's off the Frequency album, and the Frequency album is a pretty manic experience that runs from punk rock to hip hop to
yeah,
some gospel kind of stuff. Like we go all over the place. I'm a lyricist. I write songs. I make music. I don't really confine myself to a genre. So Breathe Fire came one day. It's funny actually. The cat who just asked about the fancy pants, her
yes,
and LJ had both one day they posted something about dragons, and both these girls had posted something about slaying. Get out there and slay that dragon. And I just had this thought of like, unless you're a dragon, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a dragon, then go breathe fire on all these humans that have been trying to like kill you for no reason. And just realizing kind of that dynamic, and then realizing there's a line in there that says, if what's the line? I can't even remember my own line now, but it's talking about does the dragon define the night? You know,
yeah,
if there's no dragon to fight, are you still a knight? Are you still that? Because I think a lot of us are defined by the fight. You know, I used to
yeah,
do that a lot where it was like, what am I fighting against? And that becomes my identity versus what am I fighting for? You
yeah.
know, am I living for versus what am I fighting against? So,
You find that
um,
like sometimes the ego takes over, right, and becomes that
yeah,
identity, and you need then you kind of lose yourself because the ego's taken over.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then on this track, the guitar that you hear is my man Clarence from out in Texas. Came out. He's also the one who did the guitar on Pirouettes. So most of the guitar that you hear on Frequency, other than All the Way Off, which is Uncle Jay Sales, yeah, it's all Clarence from out
Oh,
in
cool.
Texas.
Well, it sounds great. I'll play it right now, and like I said, you do so many things that to contain it. Like you should do like a 4-hour show of all the stuff that you do. You know what I mean?
Hey, hey.
You know what I mean? No, I mean you have so many like interests, right? And it's so many avenues that you're creative in.
Someday I'm
So
gonna figure out how to put them all together
yeah,
into
yeah. Well, that's
one.
I was kind of just watching it right now. I'm like, okay, this, and this. I'm like, okay, how are we gonna do this? But we'll come back and we'll play this song, and we'll come back and talk about how your journey to being the Sacramento poet laureate of
Yeah,
Sacramento. Okay, so here it
right
goes.
on.
One of my new favorite songs. This is one I drink.
Hey,
Bourbon.
I mean, so my water tonight.
Okay. I've seen you at the drunk poetry nights.
Only get as high as the lows that you allow. So just let it go for now. If that dragon doesn't fly, does it steal all of your glory? Does it leave you wondering what the night's supposed to be? Breathe fire tell you what you are. Breathe fire. Don't let them tell you what you are. They taught you how to slay. The devil's the reason you pray. On your knees every day. Questioning who keeps you paid. My dreams on escape. Travel and take my own place. Taming lions outside of the gate. They say you can only get as high as the lows that you allow. So just let it go for now. If that dragon doesn't fly, does it steal all of your glory? Does it leave you wondering what the night's supposed to be? Breathe fire. Don't let them tell you what you are. Breathe fire. Don't let them tell you what you are. I love you, Clarence. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
You can only get as.
All right, my finger has a little bit more cut off because the things are small. So, but remember we talked about having a producer on the, or someone manning that would be great because I'm like running around here like pushing and.
Yeah, y'all don't understand exactly how much Ruben's doing right now.
Yeah, and I tried. That's why I was like shaking in the beginning. I'm like, oh shit, But I was good. I came back, so I got it back. So everybody out there, if you have any questions, post up some comments. We'll bring them up for you. Last Monday, or was it Friday? Yeah, Friday we had a good show. It's really fun. Everybody really, asking questions and getting some, good reaction from everybody. Same. Matt.
So
Some definite fun. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Matt's here all the time. Matt is also elf. Matt, the elf, big 6-foot giant elf. Awesome. Dude. Running around Sacramento, spreading his cheer and his love out there too.
He needs to team up with Trilla. Trilla and Elf need to get together.
Yeah, so he was on the show. He dressed up and came in character, I should say. It was fun, and so give us a little backstory of how you became the Poet Laureate of Sacramento, if I may ask.
Man, I've wanted to be Poet Laureate of anything for as long as I can remember, like 13 years old, when I find out that like, oh, you can be a poet, like just a poet. That's what I want to do. So I have been writing poetry since I was 13 years old. Came to Sacramento 11 years ago, 12 years ago now. And was just looking for poetry spots. I end up at Soul Collective. Through that's a whole other magical story. And while I'm at Soul, I think within my first couple of years, we started an event. There wasn't really an open mic for young people. And so I worked with the Sacramento Area Youth Speaks organization, and we started an open mic called Microphone Mondays. And that ran for, I think, like five years, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's where I met a lot of the folks in ZFG. When we got too big for the venue, we started looking at other places and they wouldn't take us. Soul Collective, we love you too. So we would go to places and say, hey, we want to do this open mic. I got this open mic that's got 80 to 100 people every Monday night. I'd love to bring it here. And they'd say, great. What kind of music do you do? Well, we do poetry, we do comedy, we do singer-songwriter stuff, we do hip-hop. Oh, you do hip-hop? We don't do hip-hop here. So we started doing these guerrilla events. From the most open mic in the city was what started it. And then that turns into chain link poetry, turns into the Love Yourself flash mobs. But the street corner poetry, the intersection, those kind of events, I think, are what actually put me on the map as far as poetry in the city goes. You know, we just did it a little differently than anyone had ever done it, and it wasn't. It's always interesting to me when people are like, you did, and I'm like, no, if I would have stood out on the street corner yelling poems by myself, then people would have called the police. Like, it was the fact that there were the group that showed up. It's a community effort. When we started doing it, I think people showed up just because they wanted to see what was going to happen. Like, it was like, well, they're just going to take over this place, and these people don't know that they're coming, and they're just going to, like, I want to see what happens. And there was a lot of that, and I think it made things exciting for folks. So I think that's a big part of, like, how I end up in the Poet Laureate seat. Is really working to bring, I got to work with my homie Luis for the Crockers Block by Block project, where we brought the open mic out to South Sac and Del Paso and Oak Park. And just like neighborhoods where the poetry and the art exists, but it's doesn't have a platform necessarily, you know what I mean? Or like the folks who are doing it in these communities, like, can we just give them more of a platform?
Yeah.
So that's always been kind of the mission as far as the poetry went. And then we've done we did some really cool things. The National Guerrilla Poetry Month went international and got shared by the U.S. Embassy in Ghana. There's some wild. That's
the stories back there. We have a couple of questions for you if you have a chance right here.
Yeah.
So someone wants, and Craig wants to know if there's any other Port Lords in California that inspire you.
Absolutely. Right now, I'm really kicking it heavy with Jose Montoya, member of the Royal Chicano Air Force, who was also Sacramento Poet Laureate. And that's really been like a lot of where my focus has been. I've been reading a lot of his stuff. And then, going back to like the Outlaw Bible and some books that people are handing me now. I'm looking forward to getting to know some of those folks. I've actually been working with a couple of other poet laureates as well. So trying to do some cool stuff. And I think this Zoom life that people are living, this streaming life, is really going to give to a lot more of that collaboration. Because it's really just an email for us to hit each other up and be like, hey, do you want to come through and do this thing that I got going on? That's my.
And people, people are connecting a lot more too nowadays too with this. I think people who are usually shy, like we talked about earlier, like we know that you're telling me how you don't go out as much as people think you would, but I don't see you as that because I'm always seeing you on stage. So
that's the general perception right there.
Yeah. So it's funny because I always leave. If I go to an event, I'll leave because I get shy and I get social anxiety. So I'll just sneak out the back, or I won't say hi to a lot of people, and I go home, and then of course I break, get pissed at myself or not. I'm like, God, he seems like such an asshole, Ruben. Say hi to people, and like, you know how that goes. So we talk about different, yeah,
Man, that's like it's such a weird thing, right? Like I I, I explain to people once they get to know me and you realize like, yo, this dude really has like social anxiety and he
yeah,
doesn't, but also this weird juxtaposition of like you're always on stage,
yeah,
like, and it's this thing where people, I can't tell you how many of my like friends, like close friends now, at the beginning were like, yo, I thought you were just an asshole, like I thought you thought you were too cool. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, I definitely don't think I'm too cool. If you catch me like being standoffish, it's probably because I got like weird anxiety going on. Like,
I think we should put like like a sticker or something like that. Hey, I'm not an asshole. I'm just anxious right now.
yeah.
So we have Matt asked, what song speaks to you that every time you hear it?
There's a lot. There's a lot of those. I mean, the first thing that like flashes to my head is anything by the Wailers, Natural Mystic, especially. Um, I'll say "Dancing in the Moonlight" by King Harvest touches a very like special chord. Um, yeah, Rufus Wainwright, Hallelujah.
Oh, we have another one. Does your doggy like music / poetry?
So this dog loves her some music if it's at the right frequencies. This
Yeah.
is Tiger Lily, aka the baby monster. Um, yeah, she's the most adorable pug that creation has ever made, and currently shedding an entire dog all over me right
Perfect. It's all improv live.
now.
You
Yeah.
can't. So Matt said that Sac Bend has always frowned on hip hop scene since mid '90s. We always had to play with punk rock and reggae bands. So
Yep. And I mean that's
yeah,
that's the whole system, right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, you're talking about like this is black culture, this is black music, you know. So there is definitely like racism that happens. I've watched that happen my entire career to people that I know and that I worked alongside.
And we have Bridget says yes. Heck yes, Montoya. Matt says pretty sure Montoya was his art teacher, Sac State. Dope cat.
Yeah. Jose was a lot of folks' mentor. Like he was one of those folks who just had ripples that went out and out and out and out. So yeah. And amazing.
So you have
It
a
was
question.
amazing. Yeah.
You have a question from Liv. Should I run?
What's that?
Are you gonna give me?
Oh no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. What are you talking about?
So you got the answer. Another scandal. See, that's what I love about the show. There's scandal. There's gossip. This is
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh
This
yeah.
is it.
Oh
This
yeah.
is the gotcha.
Let it be known, I'm a book thief.
Yeah, saying.
Like if you loan me a book that I like, and I mean the answer to that is yes. You'll get it back. It'll just be like a year from now. Like I just need to. Me and Jose need to sit. We're working on something right now.
So there you go. Well, let's go back into a song, and then we'll come back and you maybe want to do some playing.
Yeah.
Didn't you say you wrote some poetry too during this time?
Yeah. I got some poetry
Yeah.
somewhere around here. I'm
Oh,
finding some.
we have an answer back from the scandal that you just did. Hold on. Oh, and
Oh boy.
say. And what's the name of the Montoya book?
It's called 20 Years of Joda.
Okay.
It's a collection.
So, what's up with the scandals or sandals?
Oh,
Oh, wait a
man.
minute. Oh, wait a minute. We have. Oh, there could be some scandals coming right now.
Oh
Typed
boy.
up. So we should go to the song now.
Go to the song. We'll take a scandal break.
Give it time. Give it time to get back and. So we're gonna play. What was it? Prayer Up. Is that the one that you wrote during?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is
Yeah.
this is a joint I wrote in quarantine. This joint actually has some antivirus frequencies built into it. So yeah, enjoy. If any rappers out there here and want to drop another verse, I got space for it.
It's open call right now.
Yep.
Open call.
Solid.
So thank you everybody for coming out. We appreciate you coming out. We love you. We are always shooting positive vibes toward you. If you have any questions, please just put them up here and we'll answer them for you. Because I don't have any questions on my own. I never really make any, so I depend on you to make this show. Because it is a hangout, so that's why I don't try to monopolize with my questions. Because all mine are about scandal. So and so this is prayer up. And we'll come back and we'll see a performance live.
Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Keep a song in your heart, keep a dance in your spirit, and don't let the fear whisper into your ears. Turn the music so loud you can't hear it. Creation has plans for us. Nature is only love, nature is only love, nature is only love. Love is my nature, so I'm here if you're lonely, love. They say if you don't know cage, then you can't know free. Multiply the designer, so shall it be. Healthy in harmony, tuned to the God, and we respect the goddess. It's all in the prophecy, written on walls they chose not to see. Been trying to tell y'all, I remember Jericho. From the windows to the walls, just in case gravity ever let you forget, everything falls. The money isn't real, but the love is, plus we got this endless supply of it. Don't forget when it's dark outside the ultraviolet. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up. Panic all around, but it doesn't faze us, cause we know the frequency and we keep it prayed up.
Love you too, Zara. Welcome, Sacramento, everybody out there, to Cali Cocktail Social Hour. We get together, hang out, feel the love, feel the healing. We'll be coming up right now with the live performance. So here we go. Hola, Raúl, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo está todo Sacramento, todo Zacatecas y Oaxaca y todo Mexico? All with you, or with the world. We're all in this. Welcome back. Andrew is setting up his gear right now for the show that he's going to about to perform for you live. Anybody out there? Yes. Sounds good.
Thumbs up, you can hear me?
Yes.
Could you hear me just now?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me the thumbs
Oh,
up.
I'll give you a thumbs up. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're switching up the technology here.
Good. Everything's good.
Yes. Technology is changing as we go, so we're gonna play. I'm gonna play some stuff. You can't hear me right now until he gets back. So here we go. That was great. It's part of the healing process there. Stuff that I hear at nighttime when you're online and streaming to whoever's out there listening. I find it very beautiful and soothing myself. That was great.
Man, thank you for being out there. Thank you to everybody who tunes in. It's fun for me. It's funny because with a group like that, like this thing, I'll just get lost. Like sometimes I'm like, let me just jump on and do like a little 5 minutes something, and then like 20 minutes later, I'm like,
But isn't that the
whoa,
yeah,
where
right?
am I?
Well, I always talk about, people talk about meditation. I go, well, meditation is for me is creating, and you just get lost, right? You become the moment, you become whatever thing it is. And, you will do it for 20 minutes, half hour, intending to do it for
Absolutely,
5 minutes. So, and I think
absolutely.
people like that. I think people can feel it, and that's what I love about it. It's like, it's a very um, soothing instrument too, as you go along. It's very meditative in itself. So um, someone said over here, great music. Super cool. That was wonderful. Oh, sorry. Oh, that was wonderful.
Word up.
That
Thanks.
was, yes, smiley face. So like I said, it's very drony in a shamanistic kind of way. Very vibrations that I think people can feel them, and yeah. So thank you. So a little bit more about your you know, uh, I won't bring the scandals anymore back in because I think I know someone who has scandals, so she may write it down if you don't return that book. I got a phone call, so drop the bomb if you don't give that book out now. Um, here we have a word, celestial. That's what it is.
Hey, wow,
That's the word I'm
wow,
looking for right there.
wow. Man, thank you. Received.
So, so you have a poem you wrote here too, in
Yeah.
so we get it all today. So, tell us a little bit more before you do that, because I want to bring this banner up that I made of your of Monday. What's going to happen? Hold on, just give me a question right here. It's going to block our faces out, but it's good to know next Monday.
Yeah. Microphone Monday, the return of the legend. So it is Soul Collective's 15th anniversary this year. So we're bringing back some classic events. This being one of them, Microphone Monday, and we're going to do it live on Instagram, on Soul Collective's Instagram. That's at SOL Collective. If you don't follow them, you should already, because we got some amazing programming going on and just some incredible media coming out, and the whole team is working really, really hard right now on some incredible things in the midst of all of this. So tune in. If you're a poet, if you're a comedian, a singer, songwriter, you rap, you tell jokes. Like the thing is, we always used to say no fire juggling, but like it's on Instagram. So if you can fire juggle in your backyard, then like
Bring it on.
in.
So
Let's do it.
how do you tune into that? I know that some people, not everybody is up to speed on how to get into, because I know that people do Zoom ones and you got to sign up, so they're kind of a pain in the ass. They're not as
Yeah,
easy. So
yeah. Well, so with Instagram, when you log in, sign up for an Instagram, you're going to need an Instagram account. Once you have an Instagram account, you'll get notifications when people that you follow go live, or you can go to the page. So if you go to our page at 8:08 p.m., you'll see, okay, Soul Collective's on live. You can tune in. And then from there, in that live screen, you can send a request to join. And so that's how you enter the open mic, is you just send a request to join, and then we'll approve you and give you your time slot.
perfect. So next Monday is it every Monday, or is it just this Monday coming up?
It's just this next Monday coming up, special edition, May 18th.
May 18th. Okay, so tune in for next week for Soul Collect. Soul Collect is an awesome, really beautiful collective, and it's always been a great gallery. I always love everybody there. So when I do shows there, everybody's really nice. But even before that, it's a great um, uh, gathering of people too there.
They're my heroes, man. They're
Yeah.
all my heroes.
So go watch it. Go. Hey, let me ask you about your drunk poetry night real quick. I
Yes.
found that very entertaining. I was contemplating doing it myself, but I just couldn't drink enough at that point to go up there and do it. But I love, I'm a people watcher, and I'm watching everybody like by that, about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm like, okay, but 11 o'clock, that's when it starts happening. That's when the drinks
Yeah.
start getting into the thing. But are you gonna do that ever again, or how's that? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love that event. And while it sounds like a whole like hot mess,
oh,
um,
it's not. It's fun. It's a
it's
fun
one
mess.
it's one of
Love
the
it.
coolest ways I've ever come up with to introduce the general public to
Yeah,
poetry form.
yeah,
Like people walked out of Blue Lamp like knowing what a sonnet was, what a haiku
yeah,
was, how
yeah.
many syllables, what a stressed syllable is. Like folks learned about poetry at the bar, with 100 other people who were just there to have a good time on a Thursday night. So yeah, I love that event. And the Blue Lamp closed.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a new spot to do it. I think we're gonna probably bring it back to the Colonial as soon as to Cafe Colonial as soon as
Yeah.
everything's like back up and going. People have been hitting me up about getting like some kind of live event going, but that one's a little wild, so it can't just be out everywhere. You know what I mean? Like that's not a Facebook event because some of y'all real wild and really go for it at the gangster rap poetry recital. So
Yeah, and it's cool because I saw some people that never did poetry before, and like, I'm gonna go up there, and that's what for
absolutely.
me. I'm like, okay, yeah. So then of course, I went home and beat myself up for not going up there because that's what I do.
Well, but see, and I can't tell you how many folks like would be like get up on stage and be like, the last 2 times that you've done this, I've told myself that I'm like, you got to work up to it. That's all. But yeah, that event is definitely it'll definitely be back. Um, and the cool part about it for me, that I love is like it's half people who've never done poetry
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
and then half people like. So we just thought, okay, let's play some poetry games, and then now I'm thinking about it being online.
well, that's what I was telling you. I was like, well, then you could really do it because no one has to. They can drink all they want. 'Cause they won't have to drive or to a lift anymore.
Right, this is true.
So
This is
let's just
true.
say 1 in the mornings. There can be some pretty, awesome stuff, and there may be some clothes taken off at that point. But yeah.
Right. You never
So
know what.
this what I was thinking. And see, someone put it up there, and Danielle like, yeah, it's right. Danielle's like,
Yeah, yeah. And what I loved, so we started doing it with just the poetry games, and thinking that everyone would write their game pieces there. And then what ended up happening was every time for a minute, we'd have someone or a few people who were disappointed at the end of the night because they came to read their poems and they thought like, and a lot of these people had never read anywhere and were like, I can go have some drinks and then get on stage and read my poem. I'm doing that.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
mean, public speaking is the number one fear in America. That's never lost on me. You know what I mean? So definitely, if you got to go have a rum and coke before you hit the stage
or a
to get
couple.
that out of you, like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then I mean, tip your bartenders and drive responsibly. We're all grown folks.
yeah. But now you don't have to.
Yeah, right.
Now you could be at home and doing it. So I put up your email address too, if anybody had any questions. Um,
Yeah, yeah. If you want to get a hold of me, you want me to come do something somewhere, any of the things. I do a lot of things. You
yes,
can
there's a
holler at
lot.
me for any of them at that email right there.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So you also just put out an album or an online, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
what's what?
Frequency came
Yeah.
out. Frequency came out in January, and that's that album that I was telling. So it's a wild thing. I was messing around one day playing some chords on the guitar, and I ended up playing the song "Solitary Man" by Neil Diamond, and I was like, "Oh, I know this song. Why do I know this song?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's this song," and I started singing it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not really that bad. Maybe I can sing," because someone 10 years ago
Yeah.
told me I can sing. So from there, I just kind of like it was like a newfound talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can write songs. Oh, I can. So I started really like pressing my voice in funk ways, and then in like a gospel way, and then in like just writing song. I'm a big music person. Like I've always been a music person. My mom led the choir at church on Sundays. You know, like she's the minister of music. My dad's the minister of the word. So
Oh, really?
I'm that balance of the two of them. Yeah. My dad's a minister, and my mom led the choir.
Wow. Well, we
Yeah,
have
that's
another question.
very much. Yeah.
That's cool. That's great. That's a well-rounded person, I would say, right? We have I think I
Yeah. I mean, raisins in the potato salad is definitely something to fear.
think that goes back to our other conversation.
About
Yeah. So I'm not as that quick on the on the trigger here. So you want to read a poem that you said that you wrote it in during this time?
yeah. Um, so I feel like a lot of us as artists are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves right now to
Yeah.
create. And I think it's good. I think a lot of us are being called. I think universally there's like an energy shift that's going on, and a lot of us are just like being pulled in that direction. When you're pulled in that direction, like go in that direction. But this like weird pressure that people are trying to apply, that's like if you don't walk out of this quarantine having written the next great American novel, then like you've messed up. You're wasting your time. And for me, as someone who like really needed to like take the time and center on my mental health and really like do some self-care. I went through a lot of that of like, what are you doing right now? You have all this time. What are you doing right now? I'm like, yo, you just need to be sitting still. So this poem is called This Isn't the Next Great American Classic. This isn't the next great American classic. I'm not going to write that in quarantine. It's been 26 days since I last touched another person. I am lucky if I don't have to spell check messages to my mother telling her I am all right. I have always been a writer, but in this moment, all I have are the words, it's going to be okay, and the work that is left to believe them once they have come out of my mouth. Like a model home full of unassembled IKEA furniture stacked in a giant pile with no instructions. At least we've seen tables and chairs before, right? Thank God they don't look anything like bookshelves or beds. This won't be so bad. Putting the furniture together, not this poem. Clearly, this poem is no great American classic. I won't write that in quarantine. It's 8 p.m. and I haven't showered since 2 days ago, maybe. Someone just sent me a video to cheer me up, and I could feel how hard the artist was working. Every tear he had cried, everyone he missed, every painful second of the process to piece himself together, to bring 2.5 minutes of lighthearted joy. But I am not there today. Today, I am a pile on the floor that is going to be okay.
That's great. And there's a lot of people clapping up there. You just can't hear them. We talked about that already.
Yeah.
I love it. That was awesome. I say awesome a lot.
It's
So.
interesting. I got the opportunity to perform for the arts and culture department, kind of just the whole arts and cultural world, in the creative economy meetings. And it was weird because I performed on Zoom for the first time, and my laptop camera doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it was just my voice, right? And I could see them.
Oh.
But it was kind of, it was weird. I was performing in my own front room, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and you can't tell how the poem impacts people. And then I had people trickle in throughout the last like 2 weeks that'll hit me up and be like, yo, I was on that call. Yo, you really like hit me in the heart with that one. But because I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't snaps. We didn't grab.
Well, I was gonna snap, but I don't know if one snap would be worse than no snap. That's why. I can put some snap samples in there, do a big loop for you. I was like, but I don't know if one's gonna throw you off.
Right.
Yeah, thanks,
Like,
Ruben.
where's my? Yeah, man. No, that's
So yeah,
it's been really hard to write. The other poem that I wrote and I performed was about how I haven't been able to write poems.
yeah.
That's like the two best poems that I've written during this quarantine are about how I can't write good poems.
Well,
So
it's funny
that's
because and like Matt says, you hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. Okay, there you go. I'm a little bit dyslexic too, so it takes me a little bit to read stuff. So I'll pull them backwards. Craig Reynolds' awesome poem, classic, and beautiful and honest. And the funny part when you talk about like how all the pressure to create all this stuff, right? I remember when it first happened, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to my studio. I can't because I can't go to my studio. I'm like, I'm gonna grab all this shit and like fucking stacked up like a fucking like what I mean, like packed up everything but I've done one piece. You know what I mean? I'm
right.
like, maybe it's time to do nothing. There's a lot of stuff going on. Maybe it's just time, I did the show, but I mean, but maybe it's time just to do it, just not do anything. And, you'll get reinvigorated when it does come back online, when life does come back online, then you can do stuff. But right now it's like, what am I gonna do? Do a picture with a mask on it? It's like, it's not anything that's really calling out there, except for like, kind of like, recharge, I
And
find,
that's it.
yeah,
That's it. I think it's that time to align. You know what I mean? Like nature didn't just say like go inside. It
yeah,
said go inside. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? For the creatives, like we're stepping into a new world. Like people keep saying when things go back to normal, but like, bro, things ain't going back to normal. This is a new normal. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So we have the chance to create new things within a new normal. So center yourself and get yourself centralized in your own alignment, in order to really move where it's going next. You know
yeah.
what I mean? I think like we were all creating for that moment. Um,
Well,
in that moment, I was releasing this like hip hop, punk rock, funk like album, and it was for this whole other thing. And then now everything that I'm releasing is this newer. It's for this new time. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And it's for the moment. So I think we just need to open ourselves up to creating in the moment and not even binding ourselves to like, yo, I was working on this project or this is what I do.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm creating this way. I have to continue this. Like, now you can step out of all of that right now.
yeah.
Like
I
nothing,
mean,
time isn't real, money isn't real.
yeah,
Like,
and physical reality is not real.
yeah,
You don't even know where
yeah,
I'm at. I could be
yeah,
right behind you. You wouldn't even know.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
absolutely,
Actually, I am.
absolutely.
We did get some snaps here, so
Hey,
yeah,
oh yeah, oh yeah. I think that's the most healing. That's the most healing. My elder asked me the last time that he was here, when we sat down one on one. He said, "When's the last time you talked to your shadow?" And I was like, "Oh, like my shadow. I've been doing my shadow work, and like I'm going hella deep with it." And he was like, "Nah, your shadow, like this on the ground. Like when's the last time
yeah,
it ain't
yeah.
never left your side? You don't never talk to it, huh?" Like taking that time to really like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, let's
man,
yeah, see there's a lot, and this is what I love about, what I love about the group, the people that come, and they do, put out things that we can talk about, and and things vibrate with everybody. And appreciate you coming out tonight and hanging out for an hour with everybody. This is a social
yeah,
hour.
absolutely,
We're not just talking to people, we're talking with people, we're hanging out.
yeah, yeah.
So, and I appreciate
Appreciate
everybody.
y'all.
Yeah, and I appreciate everybody that always comes out for this. We'll be here, I think we'll be back here Friday night, um and we'll see what
Is that
we'll
when
catch up.
is that when Jesse's on?
No, Jesse's on next week. Is he? I don't know if he's out there. I think he's
Ah,
out there, but he was learning some stuff, so he wanted to give him his chance to show some of his work, because so he did some really great work. And I think that for a lot of this, people were doing all these shows and this happened, so they're stuck and they're kind of like, they so I was like, well,
mm,
the best way to do it is here, because you'll have like, people can ask you questions which they can't really do at a gallery. They
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really ask you, they can't sit with you and be intimate with you,
That's
and
so. Are you guys gonna put up like the images of
Yeah. So he's working on that right now.
that?
So
Oh,
we're working on that, and he's going to do that, and give an explanation of what he was doing. And I think that I was there for one of the photo shoots at the Lin Fei show, and
hey.
so I think that um, what do you call it? That it was sad that they weren't able to finish it off. There's a lot of shows that they weren't able to finish. I think that right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
this is going to be the best. And when I tell you one thing, I appreciate that you make up your when you do your live thing, you actually make it an effort to put the background on. Because a lot of people just go live and it looks like seriously, it looks like I'm at a dentist's office. I'm like, well, why am I listening? I feel like I'm at a dentist's office. You're supposed, you're trying to make yourself
I
creative.
was, you know what's wild is I always have mine set up this way
Yeah,
for when
yeah,
so I had it like framed out like perfectly, and then I saw, and it was like bugging me so much that the one side was like rectangle, and then I was over here, and then so I had to,
yeah,
and so I'm doing what
yeah.
I can over here. I'm no Ruben, you know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
I'm just like putting
I'm
stuff that I have, but I'm saying like
inspired to get
no, but I'm at nighttime like that is cool. You know what I mean? 'Cause I even see your silhouette in the background, and then the other visuals back there, but it adds to the thing, and and like I said, I think that that I hope that people put some effort into the background too, and that's all. I mean, that's kind of an asshole thing for me to say, but I
Hey, no,
I
no,
want to see
no.
some. I
We
want to see
speak different
something.
languages,
Yeah,
like there's definitely and part of the reason that I do that is because of that. I mean, I got folks who like speak colors and lights as much as they speak music.
yeah.
You know.
So we have Rebecca says, I think about the great Sacramento poets who have passed and wonder what they would say about this time. Thank you, Andrew, for your palabra.
Mm, mm,
Yes,
blessings, blessings, blessings.
there's a lot of great great people that passed away here in Sacramento, like talent wise and giving wise, and caregivers and
I
poets,
mean,
artists,
there's a lot
musicians.
of that means there's a lot of amazing energy still here.
Yeah, yeah, and
Hmm.
and they replant it, right? It's gonna come to the youth, like you said, and it's out there, and you just got to give them the opportunity, right? And I think that's what you're doing great. You're giving people an opportunity to do what they need to do because you're leading the way for them to walk, just like everybody had led, the old poets, so to speak, the one that passed away, and the artist for me, and the musicians that have, you can't forget about the past because they are the one there's the one that made the roads for you, and you're making the other roads. It's like you're clearing the roads now, right?
Right,
So,
right.
and like I said, I always see you out there, and I for myself, I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate, you being out there doing things that people probably wouldn't do. But
And
that's
thank
yeah.
you, thank you, thank you.
So
It's just love. It's
yeah.
just love. It's simple. It's simple and it's complex. It's just love. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's love.
So we're gonna play
Yeah.
the song, and I forgot it because you put Live 2 on it. What's the song again called?
This is called When You Fall. This is a really rough one that got written in quarantine. This is for my fam bam. This is for my people. This is for all of your people. This is for all the people. Um, Yeah, I got gospel roots. You know what I mean? Sometimes I write gospel songs, and when I got hard days, that's definitely where I go. So this is one of those.
Perfect. We'll come back. We'll play the song, and we'll come back and wrap it up a little bit. We'll have a little more time, but when we said everything goes by pretty quick, huh? So here we go. I'm a little slow on the finger. Thank you, everybody, for coming out for a colleague cocktail social hour.
Sometimes I love you don't feel like enough. When no one's I love too far away to touch. Can't let me down, can't let me down, can't let me down, keep me above. Cause when I fall, you lift me up, you lift me up, you lift me. So when you fall, I'll lift you up. So when you fall, I'll lift you up, I'll lift you up. So when you fall, I'll lift you up. So when you fall, I'll lift you up. My heart is strong today. I'll keep your right in front of left. Remember yesterday when I said I cannot take one more step. You just let me break and stay with me through the night. I cried myself to sleep, found joy in the morning light. Sometimes our love you don't feel like enough. When no one's I love too far away to touch. Can't let me down, can't let me down, can't let me down. Keep me above. 'Cause when I fall, you lift me up, you lift me up, you lift me. So when you fall, I lift you up. So when you fall, I lift you up, I lift you up. So when you fall, I lift you up. So when you fall, I lift you up, I lift you.
And we are back. I'm trying to work on my microphone placement with stopping the music, but so that was a great song.
Man, thank you. Special shout out to Liv Styler on that one. That's my bestie right there. That's the one with all the scandals, and
Yeah.
that's we've been going back and forth. So that was for all of y'all, but that was especially for Liv Styler.
Is this on any platform? So are those songs on Bandcamp?
So everything you heard other than Prayed Up, you can hit me and I'll send you. It's also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/
Yeah, I'm trying to
Andru
find.
Defeye, I think. The Breathe Fire track, Somewhere in the Stars that we started, or Pirouettes that we started off with, is on Frequency album. That's on Apple, Spotify, anywhere that music is streamed. If you buy it on Bandcamp, I actually make a little bit of money, where if you stream it, I get like 0.666 cents every time that you stream it. So,
Yeah, so somehow I just erased it, but I put your email down. So if you want to know about it more, just contact this email right there, and he can tell you where to get it at. Bandcamp is
that
yeah.
last one ain't out yet. Like I said, that's a super rough. It almost like made me cringe a little bit, like hearing it played back over this. I'm like, oh man, the levels. You gotta work that mix out a little bit. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to leave y'all with. Super exclusive.
It's all for
But
you.
yeah,
That's what we have
everything else is from the Frequency album. There's another album I put out last year called Ultraviolet. Keep them both. Check them out. Let me know what you think.
Well, I'm glad people are asking, these questions, and you can have the. Oh, love you too. See, Matt loves us.
Love.
Yeah. So I heard you.
The Great Joy Hunt.
There you go.
Joy Hunters assemble. I started that a couple years ago, and it's just that idea that every day, in every moment, you find the joy where you can, where you put your focus is what your environment becomes. You know what I mean? Like, so it's about finding joy where it is. This is my joy tonight.
Yeah.
I made it through the entire thing without, having all kinds of crazy technical issues.
Well, see, we started that way, and I started. Remember, I started fluttered out. I was like, where am I at?
We made it back.
Never fear. That's right. That's right. We came back. Let's see. Don't forget the artist hope.
Mad important. Don't forget to thank the artists.
Yeah.
And like really like support the artists that support the artists that you love. You know what I mean? If you are working right now, it's a good time to buy some artwork from some people. Streaming albums. You can always just go to sleep at night, and before you do, put my album on play on Spotify, and you can even mute your phone. You don't even gotta listen to it. But
That's
you
right.
put money in artists' pockets, like passive income. You can support us in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, and it's like I said, this is part of the show is to promote people out there who really can't sell their stuff out there because there's no venue, there's nothing, and we talked about this
Yeah.
before that I mean, I truly believe this is going to be the venue to come to now. I think there is definitely going to have to be. I've seen a couple other a gallery in San Francisco. I think it's called Galleria de la Plaza, and they don't have a physical space anymore, but they're doing all this live streaming, and they're doing really, really great job. They have all this, really cool stuff, and they're preparing for the time when they do have a space. But right now, because there is no physical space, that means you can be anywhere you want. You can do anything you want to do, and I think that's important. And I think people will come and watch you, and especially if an artist is trying to explain themselves, how they do it and what they because I think this was great tonight. I think people asking you questions that obviously know you and want to know more about you, and people who don't know you and just want to know a little more about you. So I think this is a good avenue, and that's why I was saying, hopefully you could do something like this because so many different people, so many different artists. The only thing Instagram versus Facebook, I just like the bigger platform. You can see things, you can
Right,
you can
right.
add more than 4 people, on if you did one here, you can add 6 people here, and you'd have it would look nice,
Yeah,
you feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah, physically you feel like you're bigger space. Instagram, I feel like I'm, a little bit too tight. You know what I mean? Like a little bit too. I want to show I want to show everything, and so that's the only thing that I have with that. I wish it was just in a bigger. Obviously I love LED screens. So I wish it was huge, but um, but I think, like I said, I think that you would do a great show because you know so many things. I've seen you perform, and I've seen you MC. So that's really all. So I'm asking you from the public is asking you to do a show. Well, the
yeah.
pressure.
I mean, I think something will come. I'm coming into it slowly. Like this is the first time that anyone's asked me, "Hey, will you come on live with me at this certain time in the future?" And I said yes.
Okay.
I've done my live stuff, but I don't go
Yeah.
live every night. I don't have a schedule on it because it's all in where my mental
Yeah.
health is.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
where I'm at. So, I'm doing your show. I'm doing Microphone Mondays next Monday. So
Yeah.
I'm dipping my toes in the
Shows.
water.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm trying to taking some StreamYard lessons from you.
Yeah.
And then there's definitely an interesting a platform difference, right? That like, so Facebook, you can do a lot more of this like streaming directly to it, where
Yeah.
Instagram you can't do that. But all the kids are on Instagram.
Yeah. It's true.
The kids don't
It's
even go
true.
on Facebook. Like they don't even care about. They're like, you're on. What are you talking about, old man? Like,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you on TikTok? Is your open mic on TikTok?
Yeah.
Then we're not doing it. So trying to meet them where they're at and follow their lead.
Yeah. Or
And
like right.
I've
Yeah.
seen the kids doing like the Care Collective and Dre T doing some really cool stuff over on Soul Collective's Instagram, and just kind of following the kids' lead and
Yeah.
what they're doing. You know what I mean? Trying to learn from the young life.
Yeah. And soon you'll be able to stream to both of them. So that's gonna all work itself out. So right now, like for me right now, I can stream from right here to YouTube right now, or to Twitch.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
multiple streams, and that's what's gonna that's what it's all gonna come up to, where because I would love to screen to shoot to Instagram too, at the same time, but it's gonna be YouTube is gonna be the one that really people are gonna start going to, because that's kind of where you can see it, and you can but you're
Right.
also gonna be able to screen to Instagram too. So that's it's all coming because I've seen the explosion of this technology, and I've seen what people are asking about, like, hey, because I would love to stream it to Instagram, but I can't because they're blocking it at this moment, which is weird because Facebook owns Instagram.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? So, but there is certain realities and certain things, but once this all happens, it's going to grow. It's already growing faster than, we even know. So there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff happening where you're going to have like some cool technologies where you're going to be able to compete with like people who right now, if you see the, like Stephen Colbert or any of these guys who don't have production, right? They don't, it doesn't look as fun as like
yeah,
as it did,
yeah,
because they don't have
yeah.
their background, they don't have their producers or anything like that doing it for them. So, you see how important the back, we talk about having a producer, someone clicking the
Yeah,
buttons for you. It's
the
hard,
back end, the back end folks.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, the
yeah,
unsung heroes back there. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, so hopefully, we'll get you, you'll. I'm interested in seeing like what you would put out myself. That's my
Yeah,
main goal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
we could definitely have some fun. I'm gonna talk to some folks, but you may have sparked me with this StreamYard. I
yeah.
like this.
So well, thank you for coming out. Is there anything you'd like to tell anybody out there when they're out there, or if they're anxious, or they're just want some positivity or love out there?
And remember to breathe. Like, remember to take deep breaths. Remember to check in on like where your breath is at. Sometimes it's the simple things that help the most. You know what I mean? Like the water is mad important. If you're not getting your hands in some dirt, get your hands in some dirt. Um, and just everybody remember to be gentle with yourselves and each other. You know what I mean? Like, people are, uh, we all in trauma, we all in grief, and we all struggling, and we can work to understand each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot of trauma in the way right now, and a lot of grief in the way right now of us, and we can't let that get in the way of being human and loving each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really all it is love, 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 love.
Well, we
Just
have a
say that.
request
Yeah,
from Jesse Vasquez. Should we
a
see it?
request. Oh boy. Rip a freestyle off the top. What is this, 1989? I don't do
Another one. Look at that.
freestyle. I do pay me styles, bro. Shoot.
You never know what's gonna happen here. That's what I'm saying. Like, you never know what people are gonna ask for. You got some money, Jesse? You got some Venmo? Venmo or shut the fuck up, Jesse. No, we love Jesse. Jesse's gonna be here on next week, so you say that he's got some really cool stuff. Yeah, and he's gonna freestyle.
Yeah. That's the real scandal of next week. It's already getting started. Said he got 5 on it. All right, I might get live on it. What you think? I'm gonna shuck and jive on it? That's all $5 will get you, though.
Yeah, that's right.
3 bars. You know what I mean? 3 for 5.
Shit's expensive now, Jesse. It's inflation, bro. It's like toilet paper. You can't find it anywhere. Well, thank you for coming out. And I really appreciate you, and I appreciate that that you come out and we talked, and everybody out there, we appreciate everybody coming out for the Cali Cocktail Social Hour, which is get something together. So we're gonna go out with one of the song. I think I didn't play one last song. It is. Did I play Somewhere in the Stars? No, I didn't, huh?
Mm-mm.
No. So we're gonna go out with Somewhere in the Stars. We'd like to say thank you for everybody coming out. Thank you for for hanging out. And here's the I'll tell you what the interesting part about this whole streaming thing is. Like, so for groups like Soul Collective and these other people who can monetize their stations, their channels, if they do it, like, the longer it's like streaming music now. The longer, it doesn't matter how many people are watching, right? If someone clicks in for 30 seconds, it's not going to count. But if we have people on here for more than 10 minutes at a time, the more people that stay here, the more the algorithm starts showing out. So that's how the new style is now. It's not about how many people are clicking on or watching anymore. It's the retention of those people. So that changes the whole ball game. So people who want to make money, who want to make like a YouTube page, you get 1,000 likes, and then you get you got to have a certain amount of hours, and after those hours, then you start making money, right? So any gallery, anybody who wants to, at this point, you need to find out what you can do, right? You need to find out what. I just been learning. I mean, I should have done this a long time ago, but so Instagram, you don't get anything. It falls off the the face of the earth, right? These ones you can archive and you can hold them and put them in your, your YouTube page and stuff like that. So that's the big difference. It's like streaming music now.
Yeah,
So.
you can like save or download like the Instagram lives, but it's not as deep as that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if people want to make, like, if there are an art group, they're someone that's out there that really needs another form of income. This is what I'm not that I'm doing it for that, but I'm saying this is what I've learned. It's I mean, we've had to say 10 people on here, just say for an hour. That's 100 hours.
Word.
I mean, so as comparative to what and I'm just saying that's how this new system works. This is why live streaming is becoming very popular now, because it's and that's how it is. So just in case any capitalism out
there.
But that's like that's how, like, I'm trying to show my my friends who do have galleries or do have really interesting content to do this, because they can actually get some something out of it, rather than just someone liking it for one or twice.
Yeah, I think it's a super, super dope way. Like, I hadn't really thought about like doing art shows like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But super fresh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After you said, after we did something, you can have very ideas of what to do, and that's why I always tell people, I'll show anybody how to do it, because that's my goal, is to teach people and get on there, and and because I know there's a lot of creative people out there, and I know that there's a lot of makers that aren't being shown, like people who make stuff and sell to local stores, but no one's telling their story, right? They're like hustling, they're making stuff at home, they're making spices, they're making wood stuff, everything, but no one knows about them, or no one knows about those kind of artists, or just and that's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be that kind of like out there, and so we can support them. We just don't know who they are, so that's my goal, is to get people out there to do that. So
man, you're doing it
sometimes
in style.
So yeah. So I see, if I had a producer, we would have been on the song already. But thank you. I really appreciate you coming out tonight. I really do. It was fun. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody tuning in.
Good night, everybody. What's that?
Beams.
Yes. And we'll play the song going out. And we will see you next Friday. And remember, before we go, I really want to put this up for you, because I really think you should go out there and check this out. Right here. So next Monday. Right. Then tune in afterwards. Come here, tune back over here, and I think I may have Jesse on Monday, so we better bring him up, Jess. Okay. Well, have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. We're gonna get out. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Andre.
Love y'all.
Love you. Have a good night. Good night, everyone.
Where it's more about the love than the money or the cars, yeah. Going supernova in this bitch into a water boulevard, yeah. Too many OGs going soft for me not to keep it hard, yeah. So I'm balling on this song, cause I understand that life imitate art. Call it only getting richer, cause when it come to this, we was rich from the beginning. Abundance in my blood, appreciation and love, gratitude when it comes, patience till it show up, yeah. Something about it feel right, something about letting it heal right. Now that you get it, you can get it. It's only steady coming, cause we never scared to spend it. You know the cash just a symbol, for all the prayers that you keep up in your temple. Just think it up, magic is the instrumental, how it came to be from nothing. With that 2020 vision, this is manifesting. Ain't nothing coincidental about the stacks that I'm spinning on the ship, never rentals now. I'm gonna show you how to do it. First you have to own this moment, then just let all the momentum add on to it. Say, cause it's more about the love than the money or the cars, yeah. Going supernova in this bitch and do it for the boulevard, yeah. Too many OGs going soft for me not to keep it hard, yeah. So I'm balling on this song, cause I understand that life imitates. Pause. I hope I didn't lose you moving too fast. Let me back up, because focus can attract what you desire or the lack of. You decide, but wealth attracts more wealth. So what you got? Wealth translation. Only reason you ain't rich is because you say you not. Cause it's more about the love than the money or the cars, yeah. But the party stayed lit and the vibe supercharged, yeah. Said there's gold in the bars, diamonds in the scars, royalty in the cards, yeah. Still got questions, ask your God, and bet they tell you who we are. Popping like I'm topping charts, healing healers' hearts, winning from the start, rich off of the art, yeah. I make all that I want, cause I make all that I want, yeah. Said I make all that I want, cause I make all that I want, yeah. Said I make all that I want, cause I make all that I want. When they ask me where I'm from, tell them somewhere in the stars. Where it's more about the love than the money or the cars, yeah. Going supernova in this bitch and do it for the boulevard, yeah. Too many OGs going soft for me not to keep it hard, yeah. So I'm calling on this song cause I understand that life imitate art, yeah.
Good night, everybody. Buenas noches a todos en Sacramento y todo el mundo. Mucho, mucho amor, como dice Walter Mercado. Adiós y buenas noches. Good night, everybody. Love you guys. Thank you for coming out. Let's see what we have for you on Friday. Something different. Good night.